Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to dive into the tomb ship of the Necron fleet, for I haven't really played with this too terribly much for the video just yet. It was really the first day when I was first experimenting with the Necrons, and with the changes I made to have the Shroud ideally be the flagship to open up more offensive potential, not even for the mass recall mind you. I really love the potential of the lightning link. And I have a lot of lightning arcs which synergizes really well with the structural analyzer. I don't quite have the convenience with the cartouche, I believe it's how it's pronounced now. I'm hoping that's accurate, at least in the Kopes. And hell, even these cruisers, I will be perfectly honest, I haven't played around with these almost at all. Since they are dedicated broadside type weaponry, it's really hard to chase or gain ground, or at least put pressure on your opponent. So with these broadside weaponry and nothing on the prow that you can use to be threatening, you kind of are forced to fight on your opponent's terms a lot of the time, unless you want to use the inertialist drive in very aggressive manners, either to disengage or to get in their face. And I don't like that because it leaves you really damn vulnerable to Nova cannons, torpedoes, and anything of the sort. Although, to be honest, in my experience so far, Nova cannons are incredibly difficult to deal with. Just even if you survive the damage, the morale damage you're taking is absurd, and with no actual rally to help mitigate that damage, it's only my tomb ship that can mitigate that, and it doesn't even work on the battleship itself, frustratingly enough. So that is almost like a hard counter to Necrons to a vague extent. Just because of the Nova cannons alone, you're crippling yourself, and you only have the inertialist drive to potentially avoid them. You don't have the convenience of like a star pulse generator, or even like secondary defenses to help deal with things like torpedoes, for example. So it makes it a little more realistic to weather the storm, especially in the Shuriani, which now have 2 charges to their torpedoes with the 5 cruiser fleet. And that is a little bit brutal just for that 1 extra charge alone. But nonetheless, I'm hoping I can give a good performance here. But there are some matchups that I'm starting to realize are really damn precarious, really damn vicious. Mainly the Adeptus Mechanicus and Ashuriani just for the extra torpedo charges. Ooh, Tyranids. This is going to be rough just because of the sheer boarding potential, so I really need to keep them at arm's length. And with their adrenal glands, they're allowing a double rush, essentially covering the same kind of distance that my Necrons can get with the inertialist drive. This is going to be pretty damn brutal for me if they get close. My Shrouds can arguably outrun them really damn well, but the tomb ship is kind of forced until I'm comfortable engaging, mainly because I bait them into double rushing. Then I should keep at 13,000 units with this, but more often than not I'm going to be wanting to back up a lot. I do seriously wonder if a recall might be warranted here to kind of take advantage of that, since it's not so much the rush itself, it's the fact that they can double rush that I'm afraid of. And even though mass recall has been nerfed to allow only a single charge, this might be good for a Shroud to kind of recall all my ships into a better position. Because I hate to just keep backing up, and maybe forfeit the objectives, although it probably is not going to play out that way. Only downside, well, who am I kidding? I may even be able to get a offset, not need the pure medical reconstruction. Although, turning this off, I don't feel comfortable with that, safe to say. And Scarab Swarm's really precarious. I'm going to try it. I haven't really played with Mass Recall, but I think this warrants it just to punish the double rush potential. And it remains to be seen if we still have a bunch of boarding. It's possible we may be dealing with a lot of boarding Tyranids too. And I need to keep grouped up, so ideally I can reveal said Tyranids. And you are being stubborn with my deployment. Thank you. Always annoying that my flagship tends to be on the left, but if they start boarding me heavily and I don't have access to the reconstruction here and the regeneration, this is going to suck for me. Even a light bit of boarding from a battleship is going to be hard felt. And I'm considering just inertialist driving right away. It helps with mobility a lot. It allows it to get, well, I think this is about as far as they get anyway, and it allows me to see if they are going to launch boring torpedoes. Okay, I learned something important. You can actually hear the rushing from the Tyranid ships, or at least the Hive ship maybe. I haven't... Alright, so there's an all-carrier type ship. And I can easily negate that. on the plus side, if I can force them to regenerate their crew, which sounds really stupid when you think about it, since they wanted to hang on to that for the adrenal? Damn it, the adrenal rush there. Yeah, adrenal glands. Now I'm remembering it properly. They want to save that cooldown for the adrenal glands, the commands tab. So if I somehow are able to force them to regenerate, I do want to kind of get vision of where they're at too. And since it's only a single ship, maybe I can get away with it. Just the amount of time it takes is actually pretty significant. I may be able to just recover my star pulse generator in the time. They're coming fast, though. I may be able to spot them, and I want to be ready to do damage. Ideally, though, I don't want to get in their face. So lightning strikes, that can be a bit of an annoyance. And since I can't really destroy their engines conveniently, this may be problematic. And I'm not worried about them. I could easily just star pulse. And they're only fighters too, which remains to be seen if I actually want to let them live. Because the longer they live, the longer it takes for them to get access to their boarding assault crafts, as silly as it may sound. I'm just forfeiting this one objective. And ooh, boarding torpedoes. There's something I haven't really got to see a lot of. I'm tempted to just honestly leave those be. Yeah, there is boarding, but it's only a single boarding ship. I'm gonna leave. Oh god. And this is kind of what I'm talking about here. I do have the mass recall to help some. Thankfully, it's only 2 boarding, but they have lightning strike still. So I gotta keep that in mind. I want to try and get maximum value out of this mark. This could. Did you? Oh, you got. Damn, those 2 boarding there. Was it really? It probably was 4 boarding. Come to think of it. How much boarding do these Tyranids do if it wants to tell me? No, just the troop damage. Otherwise, let's stealth ourselves again. This is not helping not helping us much, but I'm okay with losing the point defense because at the end of the day, the Necrons are just going to passively regenerate them.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So brain's gone there. That doesn't mean much, alas, just yet. And I don't want to force. Well, I was talking about how I don't think I need the pyramidal reconstruction. That apparently was a lie, just because of the early engine critical hit we just suffered, due to my own boarding threshold, mind you. But we got a devour there. That'll be good, and we'll kill off this one. So far, slow and steady, but I do not want to get caught off guard. If I were to be so honest. I'm still getting bored, mind you, but it should only be a single board at that. And keep in mind there are torpedoes coming, so that can be scary. Is there any point to yeah, I'm just gonna lose I'm gonna get to the second phase no matter what, so I kind of need to start killing, ideally. We did kill a light cruiser, but again, it's only a goddamn light cruiser. And I want to be ready for... Oh, I lost my engine, so that's not helpful. Again, twice in a row I lost my engines just because of the troop phase. That is a little annoying. But, I mean, I'm curious if devours. I'm gonna need to jump pretty damn soon, so... Just fade fighting. Try and keep shooting, ideally. And if I can... I am forfeiting a lot of points or ground, but as soon as the tomb ship, I can kill off enough of these ships, we'll be able to... Well, there's the hive ship there we're going to need to be mindful of, and we know that has nothing but fighters on it. And you were a bit too slow on that, and that should just die. I almost want to change targets now. And engines have been regenerated. So might as well grab this point, although I wish I had had the foresight to consider using my tomb ship to grab that point, mind you. And is that devoured? Okay, that's just a cruiser. I'm waiting for the boarding. Or the rush, rather. The double rush.
The enemy has accumulated
It's not quite in boarding
25%
range, but I could jump out of the way in time.
What is your command?
And I almost want... Let's see, we got the point. We're good
You
here.
have seized a strategic area.
And here comes the assault craft. So, you know what? I'm just gonna launch my Doom Scythes. Alright. So, you board one ship there, the one that's furthest away. So, force the double rush.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
I don't know how well that played out, but I'll take it. I like to think that burnt the adrenal rush, but it's only one charge of mass recall, mind you. And I'm easily... Yeah, and I instantly lost the objective that I stayed around to try and grab.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now, there's a cruiser. Okay, so we'll deal with them. I was hoping to maybe maximize my damage, but that's not working. Kill the cruiser. There. You know, can we... Okay, there is a frigate, and I kind of dislike that filters tab, as nice as it is to have that feature. I never really looked at it seriously, though, but it's nice that it's there. I'm just hitting it way too much for my liking. I don't have stasis bombs or anything, but those are only 2 ships left. Did some damage there, but there's 1 charge left of the blink. I gotta keep that in mind. So keep this running hard. Okay, another adrenal rush, or yeah, adrenal glands rather. I don't know why I'm shooting at that, but well, it's almost dead. That's pretty much why. That was not what I want, dang it. That's a bit of a letdown, but I could jump in a moment. I'm not quite in boarding range. And again, you lost your claw. Surprisingly, it's going well, but again, I am gonna get run down eventually. It has a pyro asset for this type of variant. I'm not really familiar with the loadouts or the potential. Dang it, was I really revealed? I think we're gonna have to relegate this to being dead. If I can make it jump before it becomes derelict, that would be the best I could ask for.
The enemy has
Okay, that's the last charge.
50% of strategic points.
Try and kill off the hive ship, maybe? Because it did just board, after all. And I don't have Lightning Link for a good while. This might be I might regret this. I still have to wait a full minute for the goddamn Lightning Link. And I don't have the means to regenerate my weaponry. Oh, I didn't realize you're way back there either. I am losing terribly by the score, but I want to at least deal with these scuttle effects. And most importantly, be able to... Well, I never did prioritize weapons. I am getting bored to death. 30 seconds. I think this thing's actually going to be dead before then, in all seriousness. Yeah, it is very much going to be dead well before that, so... It's just about a matter of breaking the rest of the ships and then grabbing these points, which I think is what these are kind of relegated to with their destroyed engines. I know what to do now. Well, it would have been nice if I hadn't missed that one attack. I was going to instantly make them go feral instinct on me. But damn, that is a very precarious match just because of the boarding potential in all seriousness. I think it goes without saying, but to win it felt good. I dislike how I played it, because again, I talked about how I keep backing away, forfeiting all the objectives. So maybe my Tyranid opponent was being a little too aggressive when he didn't need to. Just because of the Shroud effect, being able to reconceal themselves can be a bit... can leave me guessing. And the mass recall was useful. Good God, did that save me from being wedged into a corner, just that one charge alone. I'm already starting to understand the value of mass recall. Sadly, my time against it, as we've seen with Drukhari, has only been used for aggressive means, mind you. So I didn't quite truly appreciate its value, what it could offer me. Alright, Drukhari. This, in theory, should be a pretty simple match for me just because they don't have a hollow field. And when you add to the fact that my lightning arcs have perfect aim, they will never miss in normal circumstances, I can obliterate a Drukhari really damn quickly if I can get all my weapons to bear on them. This is one of the few matchups I kind of want to get super aggressive on them, but it is really important for me to know what their weaponry is so I'm not just jumping into a ridiculous amount of torpedoes. This is a hard matchup for Drukhari, I want to say anyway, but this is not when... yeah, even without the mass recall shenanigans I had to deal with. Since they, like I said, they always hit, you can't dodge them because of their tracking component to it as well. Although, objectives are not the most pleasant for me to grab. I'm going to take my time with this. I want to try and get vision. I don't like maybe going over here, but what I'm thinking is grab this point, start making my way into the middle, and then slowly start situating myself there. Although, realistically, shouldn't I just make my play straight for the middle to begin with, ignoring this objective entirely since I kind of want my double mark. And then once I get these 3 points, I should be able to sit pretty with some Doom Scythes kind of covering my blind spots. Although, I almost forgot about the probe, that would be an oversight. That's kind of really damn important to at least be an area of denial, if nothing else. Where are my manners? That's all I have to say there. And it seems a little bit silly to jump immediately with the tomb ship. Let's see, 3, 1, 2. So, I wonder what this is. We're going to look at the capture rate. So, battleship there. These are like 3 cruisers. I almost want to say this is my fleet that I used. I almost want to say. But I'm pretty certain I had a 3rd frigate, mind you, with that fleet. Now, how do I want to use this? I want beacons. And the point of the Doom Scythes is to provide a little bit of vision. Oh god, I forgot to put myself on Do Not Disturb during Steam. So, the little box there is a bit of a distraction. I apologize if it's distracting to you. Nonetheless, this will give me a little bit early warning. Slightly. This is like the one window where I'm incredibly vulnerable.
The enemy has seized
And I don't think I planned out where I could place my beacons and all that the best. But otherwise, Doom Scythes are going to be good here. Well, Doom Scythes and the Scanner Pulse. I'm just going to wait and see, because this gives me good arc of vision. Hell, my Shrouds can reveal that if it's going to stand still. Even my Lightning Arcs are going to do full damage. That's really important to note too. Now we'll start moving over to the right. I did it again. Is this some weird mental conditioning I did way back when the keys were different for Necrons? Because that is really big mistake to have happen. But I have fighters there. I'm just going to jump over here. And did not notice... Oh, it is my fleet, is it? Well, it's, not quite. But I could take a lot of this damage pretty well. Am I close enough to justify a dispersed lightning arc, though? Nah. Okay, so I think we're good here. This should survive for a bit longer. This may be a mistake, because after all, cruisers.
Ready to serve.
But mismanaging that one little ability is a big deal, or at least my scanner pulse. And you're about to join in the fray in a moment. And you're slowing yourself too. That's mighty nice of you. Engine destroyed. Disperse lightning arc in a moment here, but ooh. Well, my opponent's just making themselves easy to hit. You need to be constantly moving with Drukhari, I'm afraid to say. Otherwise, you make yourself so damn vulnerable, like we just seen. That's the only way, as we just seen, though, how you can dodge the lightning arc. Just actually get out of its range. Now, I just changed stances, so I'm a little bit vulnerable for the time being, but at the same time, my Doom Scythes are coming back. I have scanner pulses back up. Maybe that was a bit preemptive to try and pulse, mind you, but I'm going to be jumping over the other way in a moment. We did substantial damage to the battleship, so that thing's not going to want to get moving pretty soon. We can grab that objective. Actually, well, I don't want to jump just in case. Just in case, but we'll grab this objective. I'm loath to kind of spread out too much though, but I can easily protect that one with my tomb ship. I may have just jumped, but I still can hit them.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points. You have seized a strategic area.
Wow. Something must have happened. It must have been a mutiny and then a bunch of fire assaults. Oh. I thought it was something a little more original. Or I thought it was my fleet.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Alright, I should have paid attention to how quickly they were grabbing the ejector, mind you.
The enemy has seized a strategic
But
area.
we're hitting them. And we killed off one of the battleships already. So, I just gotta keep in mind there's a frigate that might spot me. Oh well, we're playing something a little bit standard. And if I could keep killing this engine, that'd be great. Scanner pulse. Give me a permanent engine destruction. Oh. My. I misjudged a little bit. I thought there was actually more ships than there were. Apparently that was misdirection, maybe? Since I'm pretty certain I saw 3 pings in the middle of the map. Well, actually, I'm wrong. There were 2 battleships on the right, 1 battleship on the left. That's what's going on. I was misinterpreting and misreading it, in all seriousness. So good on them for that, if nothing else. But still. That was a nice, short, simple, and surprisingly effective match against Drukhari. Not as brutal as I would realistically have expected, but otherwise, it's to the point. Okay, Necron mirror match. So, what's my experience been so far with the Necron mirror match? Just boarding damage and attrition over time is basically kills my flagship. So I don't think I want to use Doom Scythes for that main reason. Try and minimize the troop damage, and maybe focus my boarding on the same on them, ideally. This is going to be an interesting one since I think my opponent's going to have access to more lances, but potentially, unless they have 2 tomb ships, I should have more lightning arcs for the critical hits. So it really comes down to luck, I want to argue. And again, depending what we're up against, I have no idea what to expect as far as weaponry here. And I only have a single star pulse generator for, well, for what exactly? The Doom Scythe should not be too terrible since I, arguably, unless they have a Scourge, I should have more Doom Scythes available than them. It's just have less charges would be the big factor. I can launch more of them at once, but they might have slightly more on the actual count. Now, with that said, wondering about skills. I like what I have here. Lightning Link can be essential, especially if I catch them when they don't have inertialess drive. That's the big thing. If I can do that, then that's 1,600 damage easily on a tomb ships, provided I position myself properly.
What is your command?
Now, what are we looking at here? 3 ships. Could be 3 battle cruisers. That's something I've seen before, but it's not really common or something I've seen recently.
Inferior vessels sighted.
So these are just Horrors. Scourge and Horrors, alright. So I should be decently equipped here. It's a question of the critical hits. 8, 16, 24 lightning arcs on them, and the Scourge will be a little bit restricted, so we're really damn close on lightning arcs. I never did check for structural analyzer, but I think it goes without saying that should be somewhere. Nope. Huh, interesting. Nightmare Shroud. Are you actually going to seriously consider trying to beat me on a morale front? I do have the tomb ship to help mitigate that a lot, at least for my shrouds. Although in all honesty, do I want to grab the objective on the left? No, structural analyzer is my biggest strength right now.
How may I serve?
I'm going to launch fighters. Watch for a Scourge. And ideally, boarding is a bit of a problem here. But with the Doom Scythe, or the Tomb Ship there also contributing, I should be alright. Famous last words there.
I serve your glory.
And I don't want to... I could start Scanner Pulse soon.
Yes, my liege.
I just want to... I don't know what I want there, actually, for a Scanner Pulse. I'm maybe trying to be greedy, but I want to at least hit 2 of them, in case of a jump. I was hoping I was out of range for the shrouds to not get revealed. That's why I kept them hanging back, but... At the same time, these things can't shoot in the prow, so is there a way I can abuse that? Although it helps that this cursed thing will actually move. Makes it a little bit tricky.
I am the dynasty's spear. On the march.
Alright, so let's try maximize damage there. I do have engines prioritized, so...
How may I serve?
Gonna be really tricky to do the damage I want.
I am the dynasty's
I thought I saw engine critical hit? No. And we have the Scourge over there.
ready to serve.
And I'm not afraid to jump with these there to get close enough for structural analyzer. Again, that's my biggest strength and I want to abuse it.
What is your command?
Because once those engine critical hits start happening, this is going to be brutal. And again, 45 seconds on here, so long as both my Jackals are alive, that's permanent visibility.
Initializing motive power. Ready to
Now, I think what's happening here is my opponent's waiting for me to use the... I'm losing my train of thought there a little bit, because I'm trying to take this match seriously, too.
relocating.
But I think they want me to use my ability, my Star Pulse Generator, so that way they can launch all their ships at once. But I don't think I'm going to do that yet.
Motive power. I am the dynasty's
It's going to take a little bit of damage, but at the same time,
as you command.
can we start moving forward? I don't think I care about the objectives so much. Just to prioritize a ship.
On the march. Engaging weaponry.
This did launch its fighters though, so that's a bit of a problem.
Yes, my liege.
I thought that was an engine critical hit, it clearly is not.
I serve your glory. Drop void anchors.
Is this enough? Because I need to turn and focus my damage. You're not turning, you cursed shroud. So I didn't quite do the damage I want, sadly.
Drop void
It's still good damage, but now it's surrounded.
on the march.
It's really hard to hit what I want.
How may I serve? Moving.
I should do lightning dispersed arc, but let's see, I'm regenerating health on here, so that's good.
Yes, my liege.
Now I'm here in the lightning link, but what's it on?
Initializing
I'm trying to figure out where the lightning link is. I don't see it at all. Because apparently my flagship just died, but where the hell was the... I know the flagship was here, but I didn't see it. I swear to God I did not see the damn thing, and I'm furious that I didn't.
Reanimated. What is
I know maybe I couldn't have jumped out of the way, but I couldn't do anything about it either, it feels like.
your spear?
Now, sadly, it looks like I might still lose this just because I'm not... I don't even think I got a single engine critical hit as silly as it sounds. I may not have been using my structural analyzer the best, but... Did I? I'm pretty certain most of the critical hits I did were also negate, but damn. No critical hits at all. Since mainly, my strategy relied on them losing their engines to maximize my lightning link after all. So that's a shame. That is a real shame there. I like to feel like I had a good enough fleet to do damage there. Dispersed Lightning Arc I don't think would have done enough damage to justify it there. Since we weren't even close to killing off his second ship anyway. So how could I have done that better? I probably did a bad job. Yeah, well, I knew the Lightning Link was there. We heard about that. Nightmare Shroud could have done morale damage over time. Still, I feel like the analyzer didn't do much, but then again, I'm completely oblivious to what kind of critical hits I did because of the means to just recover most of the serious ones with the reconstruction. So I'm curious what happened there.